KRDO has spent years exposing a major problem that was right under our noses here in El Paso County, and now it's paying off.
The city of Colorado Springs taking substantial action today to shut down illicit massage parlors that are engaging in prostitution and human trafficking. Good evening, I'm Heather Skold.
And I'm Bart Bedsole. Colorado Springs police say they now have the tools to shut down the more than 30 illicit spas with ties to human trafficking.
Earlier today, City Council unanimously passed an ordinance aimed at stopping these illegal businesses hiding in plain sight. Investigative reporter Dan Beatty joins us live out of City Hall with details on this new ordinance. Dan.
Yeah, Colorado Springs City Councilman Dave Donaldson says this ordinance is about protecting the legitimate and getting rid of the illicit. The new ordinance will make it unlawful to operate in Colorado Springs without a massage business license through the city. Renewal payments happen every year, costing $110. The new law allows police to go in and inspect licensed businesses to ensure they are not engaging in illegal activity or forcing female employees to live at the business. Colorado Springs police say illicit spas won't be given a license, and they probably won't apply for one anyways, leaving them open to citations and closure. Councilmember Donaldson made illicit spas a top priority when he first took his seat on council earlier this year.
Everybody in Colorado Springs doesn't want human trafficking in our city, right? That's something we can agree on. It's not a liberal conservative issue. It's really just a human rights, or just taking care of other folks that live here in Colorado Springs. So,
some massage therapists are concerned about the extra regulation and how it could impact their business. The city says they receive an extensive amount of feedback regarding this specific ordinance from the massage therapy community here in Colorado Springs, and they say a majority of that feedback was positive. This ordinance goes into effect on September 1st. Reporting live in Colorado Springs outside City Hall, Dan Beatty, 13 Investigates.
All right, Dan, thanks. This week, 13 Investigates also looked into how many businesses in Colorado Springs could be shut down with this new law. In the last 2 days, our team went to 33 open spas within city limits. All have sexually explicit reviews written about them online, and we track them using the same website police use to identify illicit spas. We found that 6 of the spas changed their names within the last year, which 13 Investigates found is a common practice of illicit spas after they are busted.
And the passing of this ordinance comes 3 years after 13 Investigates began digging into illicit spas. Our investigation, Hiding in Plain Sight, exposed an issue that appeared to be flying under the radar until we started pressing for answers. Here's Chief Investigative Reporter Chelsea Brensel with a look back on how we got here.
We do not do none of that.
It was January 2019 when 13 Investigates first identified dozens of illicit spas hiding in plain sight. Many of these massage parlors were using extremely suggestive online advertisements, making it clear sex is for sale. We met with Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers, then Colorado Springs Police Chief Vince Niski, and the head of the department's Metro Vice Unit to make them aware of our investigation. The Vice Unit acknowledged back then they believed these were houses of prostitution. Undercover cops would make periodic busts and the women would pay prostitution fines, but the spas stayed open.
They're selling sex. They're showing young girls wearing barely anything. So this business, when posting these ads, is demonstrating that it's a house of prostitution.
Our investigation revealed the women working inside the spas are Asian, often trafficked and moved from city to city.
And they use force, fraud, or coercion to bring vulnerable, in this case mostly women, from countries into the United States.
13 Investigates staked out several spas in the spring of 2019. Our cameras captured a stream of only male customers. Lunchtime was the most popular hour for men to visit the spas. 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. also brought male visitors, while some of the women who worked in the spas came out to smoke after closing around 10. In 3 spas we staked out, the women stayed inside overnight. Police told us many of the women slept inside the spas, which is in direct violation of Colorado Springs City Code. City law states you cannot sleep where you work. Former 13 Investigates reporter Stephanie Sierra booked a massage at a few different spas. While she was inside, she recorded the conversations with the women working there.
Where are you from? I'm in China. People dirty, some people
so stinky. I told my dad, I have to go home.
We also went to several other spas trying to get answers.
No. Excuse me, ma'am. We have a number of questions for you.
13 Investigates found the Colorado city of Aurora enacted a law in 2018 that created too many legal hurdles for the illegal spas to keep doing business. We took the Aurora legislation to then Colorado Springs City Council President Richard Skorman. We told him that Colorado Springs had 36 illicit spas and showed him online reviews police used to identify them. Those reviews were written by men on Rub Maps, a website where men rate the type of sex they had at various illicit spas.
It's a big priority, and we've all been watching the local coverage that you've been doing, and it is more of an issue than we realized, and so we want to see what options are out there.
Almost all of the illicit spas were in shopping centers, next to churches, after-school learning facilities, and many other small family businesses. 13 Investigates tracked down the landlords renting to these illicit spas.
You get the hell out of my place. And you get that camera out of here.
Are you aware that you are leasing to an illicit massage parlor?
Get the camera out of here. Get it out of here.
Okay. You guys,
really? Get it out.
Get it out.
Get it out.
I don't believe I have an obligation.
Many nearby business owners told 13 Investigates they wanted the illicit spas gone.
And they've been busted 2-3 times. So I've worked with the police quite a bit. I've kept in contact with them, but it seems like no matter what we do, it's almost like the next day they just have free reign to open up again. And these poor girls.
Then in April 2019, 13 Investigates got a tip that one of the illicit spa owners was flying out of the Colorado Springs airport, headed for Vegas, with what we were told was a full bag of cash to money launder. We staked out the airport only to find ourselves inside a bust aimed at Hyo King-so. Colorado Springs Vice cops aided Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, as they arrested her and took the bag. 13 Investigates learned she had overstayed her visa for 16 years. She was held for months at an ICE facility in Aurora and released, but the feds refused to disclose what happened to her.
I don't have an answer for you.
Our investigation also revealed that a majority of the spas do not even have a business license, even though Colorado Springs has an ordinance requiring sexually oriented businesses to register. The city clerk told us the spas do not fit within the definition of the city code for sexually oriented businesses. Ownership of these spas are murky, with some owned by LLCs and others having names we couldn't find in any other public records.
Each day, these women are being victimized.
In December of 2019, 13 Investigates produced an hour-long documentary on the issue.
We don't sugarcoat the truth. Whether you call them houses of prostitution or brothels, the illegal activity is happening here, right in our own backyard.
Investigative reporter Stephanie Sierra has led this series. Tonight, she takes us back to where the investigation started, one that was hiding in plain sight.
In March 2020, when COVID struck, we confronted Stress Away Spa on North Circle Drive that stayed open as everything else around it shut down.
Why are you still telling people that they can come here? Are you aware of this governor's order?
Later, a raid at Rose Spa in late 2020. The owner, Sia, was charged with pimping and keeping a house of prostitution. The women were not charged. We found Sia was able to continue operating his spa on the same day he bailed out of jail.
Can these women leave?
The pimp was recently convicted at his trial in El Paso County and is awaiting sentencing. Then, in the spring of 2021, the Colorado Springs City Council held a public meeting on the issue. The first time the council as a whole acknowledged the problem. That is where police reiterated what 13 Investigates had previously reported, in that there was little they could do to shut the spas down.
We do believe human trafficking is occurring in these businesses, absolutely.
But the elected leaders didn't take action, and it frustrated Councilman Bill Murray.
When KRDO is more effective in shutting these places down than the police department, we have to start looking at the bigger picture of things.
In September 2021, 13 Investigates met with Colorado Springs City Councilman Dave Donaldson, who then drafted a law that mirrored Aurora's. That brings us to where we are now, with the Colorado Springs City Council approving that new ordinance. And in the midst of all of this, 13 Investigates was also pressing state lawmakers about this issue. And in March, the legislature proposed a new law aimed at rooting out illicit spas statewide. But this story is far from over. 13 Investigates will continue to track the fate of these illicit spas to find out how many follow the law and ultimately if some of these so-called spas close down for good. Chelsea Brensel, 13 Investigates.
Some really good work there, Chelsea. Thanks.